Here's the truth, though. All jokes aside, if you guys know anything about me, it's I yell a lot. So that's really weird that someone said speak up. I'm like, really? Never heard that one. But number two is I joke around a lot. So I don't know how I draw from both ends. I'm kind of like this asshole, if you will. But I really believe like everything's good, I'm good, you're good, like we're all good. Like I draw from these opposite ends, and I think it has something to do with like being humble, being grateful, being excited, but then also thinking like I've got this, I know what I'm doing, anything I don't know that I'm doing, I'll learn it. Like, you know, sometimes it's fake it till you make it, sometimes it's like I got this, right? But it's never for me, usually, it's never like, I don't know. That's usually not on my palate. So, something I want to talk about today. I originally wrote this little post here for my website, and it kind of struck me as something that would be really important to talk to you guys about. Like I always say, we could talk about like, oh, dump the mop bucket when you're done with it every time, or like change your gloves after every time you do this. Like we could talk about that, or we could talk about real life. And I'd rather talk about real life. Not that changing your gloves isn't important, not that dumping the mop water is not important, but I could post a sign for that. I could post that on Deputy. I feel like this is very important to your lives, as I do all the meetings that we have every month. But I wanted to, after I wrote this, I kind of was like, okay, that it's pretty broad, it's pretty philosophical, it's pretty out there, especially for a restaurant and for you guys. I didn't want to like keep it up here. I didn't want to go full Tony Robbins on you guys. But I do want to tell you guys some facts. So before I even read anything on here, I just want to say that I admire, and I always will admire, I will always admire people that speak their mind around me, people that tell the truth, and people that have an opinion. So often, people don't speak their mind, people don't tell the truth, and people won't form an opinion. You know, back in the day, we had two chefs, and they were pretty big jerks. But Alex was the guy in the kitchen that, as far as we all knew, like didn't go either way. He wasn't like, oh, I'm with the front of house or the restaurant, or I'm with these assholes, right? He was just kind of like reserved. That I saw. And so that's what I'm saying. Some people, they don't form that, and sometimes it works out. Hey, you play the long game, you're the longest employee here besides me. That's insane. I like that. Some people won't say anything. Some people won't tell the truth. They'll be like, oh yeah, I know a guy. I'll be talking to him and I'll be saying something that he doesn't agree with, but the whole talk, I swear he'll go, oh yeah. And I'll leave like, yeah, that really went well. I talked to so-and-so. He seemed to be all into it. And then they're like, no, he doesn't agree with anything. I'm like, why did he tell me, yeah, that's what he does? So I'm like very confused. So I admire those things. But, and I learned somewhere that saying but pretty much erases everything you said before but hear me out. Yeah, lots of buts. I do not admire complaining. I do not admire negativity. I do not admire gossip. I do not admire, I can't even formulate into a word. I don't admire negativity. I wrote here in big bold letters, negativity is a murderer. I wanted to originally draw out, me and Ray were going to draw like a courtroom right here, and you guys were all going to be the jury, and we were going to put negativity on trial. It was going to be cool. I didn't have time to do that. But I believe that negativity kills happiness, and it kills the ability to make changes which can spark true progress. There's some people that all they need is just this little spark. I don't mean a fire, like a spark that would get them on track to lose weight, or to wake up earlier, or to, be more responsible with their finances, or, have better fashion sense or something, right? Like you, right? But you get what I mean? There are certain people that are just like a spark away. They don't need much. They're not like so far off the deep end where they'll never get there. But so often, negativity from themselves and people around them drowns them. They're drowning in it. There's nothing that they can do. And so I believe that negativity is ignoring problems. When you ignore problems, that's negative. When you accept shit, like this is just the way it is. When you don't make the best out of every situation. When you're complaining at all, I mean any complaining, negative. When you plot and you scheme without dreaming, right? It's okay to plot. It's okay to scheme. But it's got to have a dream attached to it, right? Otherwise, it's just negative. It's plotting and scheming. Not longing for love. I didn't know another word to put here, but not longing for love. Not longing for something like fulfilling. Like I view love as like the number, like above all. Like money is awesome. Stuff you get with money is cool. Trips to the mountains or to the what was that? La Brea Tar. Awesome. But I put love over all that. When you feel it, when you know it, it's kind of like when you are looking around and everything's cool and then you lock eyes with the sun, you're like, that's love for me. There's nothing like it. There's nothing. I've stuck a laser in my eye. When I was a kid, I was like, look at that. I could do lasers. Sun, no bueno. I can't do sun, right? That's love for me. It's just sublime. It's just, there's nothing like it. When you're not longing for love, negativity comes in. Not doing the shit that you want to do. Not doing the shit that you say you'll do. Or when you talk shit on others for doing something or for not doing something. Not being able to change, not being available to change, not wanting to hear about change, not wanting to think about change, not inviting change. Being stuck in your ways. These are all forms of being negative. Being negative doesn't just mean, I don't like broccoli. I don't like the 76ers, right? I don't like folk music. That's like the most obvious form of negativity. But when you ignore problems, when you accept shit, when you don't make the best out of every situation, when you complain, when you plot and you scheme, when you stop longing for something whole and real and good, when you're not doing the things that you want to do, when you're not doing the things that you say you're gonna do, when you start talking down on others for what they do and don't do, when you stop doing things, when you're just not doing anything, you're not making action happen, and when you're not available to change, when you're not listening to change, when you're not even inviting the idea of change, this is negative. The cool thing here is that negativity is the market's choice. Negativity is other people's choice. For example, everything I'm saying now, you could raise your hand and go, you're being negative. And she can go, yeah. And everyone can sit here and agree, and I can go, no, I'm not. But it's your guys' choice on what negativity is. The market gets to decide what negativity is. But happiness, only you get to decide what happiness is. I don't get to decide. I can say, you don't look happy. I can say, are you really happy? I can say, you're not happy. But I can't say, you're not happy. I can't. I can say, you're being negative. Huh, Ray? Huh, Jonathan? You're being negative. But I can't say, he's not happy. Huh, Ray? Tell him, Ray. That's you. So what I really wanted to talk to you about tonight was happiness. It's just something that nobody can decide for you. Nobody can decide how fucking happy you are, or if you're happy at all, or what will make you happy. And I spent a long time in my career and on earth thinking I could decide what could make you happy, and you happy, and you happy, and you happy especially. I spent a long time thinking I knew what would make you happy. If you just, and very specific things, it doesn't work that way. Happiness is unique. Happiness is individual. So I get to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it truthfully. You don't have to actually say yes or no or raise your hand. You don't have to do anything crazy. You could say it in here, but it would be cool to kind of look around and get something. I'm going to ask you a question, and it doesn't have to be definite right now. You can wait until you hear what I have to say. But I want to ask this question because I had to ask myself this before I even wrote this. Are you happy? And before you shake your head, yes, Victor.
Oh, yes, I'm happy, brother. You're not taking
I want to start big.
Okay.
And then we'll take this drone and we'll go all the way down. Are you happy with your life and all the choices that have made up this life, right?
Absolutely.
Do you absolutely love living in the United States of fucking America?
Absolutely. 'Cause I've been around the world twice, and yes,
How's California? Do you like the Golden State? Is it treating you well?
we're on tape. It's okay.
Don't you love living in the San Joaquin Valley? You live about an hour and a half to 3 hours away from the mountains, the beach, the snow, rivers, and Disneyland. Very unique. Are you happy that you currently sit right here in the ag capital of the world? Of all places you could have been, you are at where the World Ag Expo is held. Do you feel excited and do you feel fulfilled? Be honest with yourself about coming to work for Bravo every day. Coming to work for Bravo every day. Coming to work at Bravo every day. You know, within that you could say, are you happy with the amount you work? Or do you want to work more or less, right? Are you happy with what your job title is? Are you happy with what your pay is as we continue to go down? Is every day a good day at work? And I'm starting to get more work focused because that's where we're at. You know, you can ask yourself this with any relationship you want. But as I'm going down and I'm zooming in, I'm asking, are you happy here? Are you happy with your title and your pay? Is every day a good day at work? Was today a good day? Was today a good day for you? And ultimately, are you happy? Are you happy right this second? So you go from this second all the way up to everything. How you feel about everything. I mean, lay it out. Trump, choices your dad made, choices your mom made, whatever happened to one of your friends, things that X said to you, things you have saved on your phone deep down in there that only you know where they're at. I know 1997 tax returns, that's the folder that you use. But as you start to dig deep and go, am I happy, am I happy, am I happy, am I happy? Just like when you eat a sandwich and there's something off about it, you go bread, lettuce, sauce, and all that. You start to go in, right? And then once you can't find anything wrong with that, you go deeper. Smell it. Is this mayo bad? Right? So, as you go down the list of what you're happy and unhappy about, something amazing is going to happen for you. And I hate to read that so lifeless. Like, as you go down the list of what makes you happy and unhappy, something amazing. No, I mean, something awesome is going to happen. You're going to realize something that I realized. You're going to accept a lot of the things that you're unhappy about. You're going to chalk them up to what we all do. Like, you don't like California, you might just accept, or you're younger, you might accept, like, this is where I was born. What am I supposed to do? Go to Florida? How am I going to go to Florida, right? Or you'll ignore things, right? You don't even see them. You don't even know. Or you'll start to plot and you'll start to scheme, start to come up with plans. What you're going to do about the things that you're happy and unhappy about. I'm unhappy here. What if I did this? Or I'm happy. What if I doubled down, tripled down on this and went after this, right? So let me give you a little backstory on me, because why do I have the right to talk to you guys about being happy? And not only that, why do I have the audacity to talk to you guys about being happy and about not complaining and about not being negative? I mean, I sit here with all my limbs, right? One of the most shared motivational things I found on the internet was that guy with that arm that's all jacked up. And he's like, I was a football player. I trained my whole life to play football. I knew I was going to play football, and I got hit, and I went down, and I went numb. But I told the doctor, I'm going to play again. I'm like, dude, you're not going to play. Like, your arm's done. The whole side of your body's done. And he's sitting there like this right now. He's like, nah, but I have a purpose. And now he goes around and he talks. So people look at me and they go, you're white, you're male, you live in America. Well, of course you're happy, right? Of course you've got the advantage, especially with everything that's going on right now, right? But I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. And this is kind of in list form. And I kind of wrote this when I was, dusting off that chip on my shoulder. So just check this out. And this is completely true. I would never, ever want to lie to you guys. Number one, I came from shit. If you want to know more about that shit, we can talk after this. I had shit, meaning I had nothing. Anything I did have, whether it was a luxury item or even food to eat, was made sure that I had 1,000% by my grandfather. Whether it was school pictures, which I don't have a whole lot of. Yearbook, I have one. I think my senior year one, I bought that. It was my grandfather. But there's a spoiler alert, he did die when I was young. So that didn't last for very long. He left, we got a little money from selling his house when I was a kid. It wasn't much. And no disrespect, I know my mom is probably watching this, so I won't say exactly what went down with that. But some cool stuff did go down with it, some fun stuff, but in the end, no legacy, nothing to go build anything cool with. So I kind of write that off. I sucked at school. Anybody watching this, anybody that knows me, I mean, I sucked at school. It's almost a cool thing to say now, like, I sucked at school, I knew I was going to be a rapper. Or I sucked at school, I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. I sucked at school. I don't have a reason for it. I wasn't like, I don't know if I was smart, I don't know if I was dumb. I sucked at school. I got Fs. Like, I want to say D's and F's, but I didn't want to lie and say D's and F's. F's, maybe some D's. Maybe one, like, halfway through the semester, we had, like, the little mid-grade. You would see a spike with Kendall. He was doing well. A D, a C, right? But then by the time the grade, the fax machine my dad had in his office, he got my report card sent to his house. And I knew never to go to his house on those days, on those weekends. I'm not lying. It would be over for me. Yeah, I wrote, this pissed my father off. He hated it. But my mom always let me be me. I don't know if it was because she wanted to be her and letting me be me kept me at her way, if that makes sense. But regardless, my mom always let me be me. I wanted to dye my hair black. My hair's already dark. She's like, okay. I wanted to wear tight clothes. I mean, I still do, right? I wanted to be me when everyone around me was being another way. My mom was like, you be you. It was pretty insane. I always thought I was going to just make it. I just thought like you just were yourself and there were magical cameras. I mean, this is before wireless cameras. I thought there were cameras everywhere. I mean, not literally, but I thought there were cameras watching me, thinking the universe was like, dude, this is Kendall. He's awesome. He's funny. He cares. I'm going to make it. Like, I'm going to graduate, and at high school, and at some point, someone's just going to come and shake my hand and be like, hey, you're going to be on TV now. Or, hey, you're going to be rich now. Or, hey, you're going to be famous now. Like, I really thought, and I wrote in here, like Jim Carrey. I always thought I was Jim Carrey. My escape was going into the bathroom, and I would take some of my favorite toys, and I would have a fake show where I just talk to the audience about my stuff. Like, and today we've got this Nintendo Pocket Game Boy with the little light up squiggly thing, right? And I'd be like, oh, dude, check out this level on this game, and then, or I'd have like a stationary toy that came. My mom worked at McDonald's, so I got all the toys. I'd be like, oh, I got this toy and this toy, and I would like talk to the audience, imaginary audience. One thing was for sure though, I always made the best where we lived, whether it was a motel, a trailer, or a garage. I was always told how happy I was and how much I smiled. My mom always called me her smiley girl. It's kind of lame, but I call my daughter that now too. I have lines on my face, and I was telling Ray, I think they're from smiling a lot, or they're probably from getting old. I'm not 100. I'm pretty much still the same way though. Not a lot has changed. And I want to make sure I'm not doing any bragging here. This was in my DNA. I didn't choose this. I didn't like sit and like meditate on this. Like, this is who I am. It's who I've been. I didn't do anything that I know of to create this. So I feel like I can answer the question, but I don't want to yet. But I feel like I could. I could give you a really good answer. I mean, I could go all the way down and be like, check that out. But I feel like my ability to answer that on every level is what gives me not only the audacity to speak to you guys, but the right to speak to you guys. It's not a position thing, and something me and Eric talk about. It's not a position thing. It's not money or success. It's clearly what we talk about. Negativity is going bye-bye in this restaurant and in our lives, hopefully, but I can only control this restaurant. Negativity is going bye-bye, and happiness is coming in. So when I think about happiness, when I think about a happy life, one of the first things that just came into my mind, like, I didn't fucking look this up, I didn't Google it, like, it came into my mind. Has anybody seen the movie Up? Like, just humor me for a second. Raise your hand if you've seen the movie Up. I really want to see, wow, almost everybody. Mike, you've seen it? You seen it? Have you seen Up? You've never seen Up?
My favorite.
Let me get to that red box though on the reel. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna give you the shortest version I can of the movie, and this is gonna be over before you know it. I just want to kind of go here. Okay. So if you haven't seen it, please do. I wrote that. I really don't have the time to explain the whole movie to you. But to sum it up, I wrote ha 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 up. Got it. Okay. This guy's pretty much lived an amazing life. So it shows this guy from when he was super young watching this like black and white video, because it's set back in the day, of like this adventurer guy, and he's like, adventure is out there, right? And he's like, I want to be an adventurer, and he had these goggles he wore like he was in a plane. He's running around, and he's kind of a scaredy cat, but he's like looking for adventure, and he meets this little girl. And this girl, I think she's kind of like a tomboy or something, but she's in like this abandoned house, and she's hanging out in there with her fucking goggles on too. And he's like kind of scared. He ends up getting hurt. It cuts to basically them dating and them getting married and them being stupid in love. Like, I watched this movie. I can't watch this movie with my wife because I feel guilty that I'm not that way. I'm like, oh, let's get to the part with the talking dog. Like, really. I'm like, yeah, that guy's funny. Anyway, so it shows him live this awesome life. And I just wanted some highlights here. He met the woman of his dreams and grew old with her. They did some like adventuring, some traveling, nothing crazy. They worked, she worked like at a zoo, and he sold balloons there. So like he worked with her. They restored that childhood clubhouse into their home. Really cool. And it showed like, so cool how you could build a life, like one thing at a time. Whether it was like a cool picture frame they got, or getting chairs. Like they were their chairs, they were very different chairs. Things like that. Like you watch this movie and it's kind of like how Forrest Gump follows his whole life. You're like, oh, that's great. They moved into they restored the dream home, they worked, and they spent every minute enjoying it. But there's two very obvious prevalent themes in that little story, because it's quick. One, they wanted to have a baby together. They wanted a little, I don't remember the old guy's name, but they wanted a little old man. They wanted to move their restored home, their clubhouse, to a place named Paradise Falls, where that adventurer guy had gone that they were both into, and he had never come back because he was looking for this bird. Think of like the NBC peacock, like a colorful kind of what do you call this, ostrich looking thing, right? And he's like, dude, check it out, I found this bird. And that's what he would do. He would go travel places, find crazy animals, and then come back and like show people. Well, one time he went to go show this bird off, and I think it was fake. It wasn't real. There weren't real bones. So everyone called him a fake. He's like, I'm not a fake, or whatever. So he's like, I'm gonna go get another one of these birds, I'm gonna bring it back. Well, he never came back. So these people grew up, they lived their life, kind of ignored the adventure for a minute. Once they realized that, I wrote here, the movie shows that the wife has a miscarriage and they're not able to have a baby. They are rightfully devastated. And I wrote rightfully devastated, okay? I need it really good. Miscarriage, rightfully devastated. And so they decided, let's just go to Paradise Falls. It's just the two of us. Let's do this. So he would save up. You remember that? He would save up. He had a little jar full of money. And he gets a flat tire. Got to break the jar. Gets a broken arm. Got to break the jar. A tree falls and messes up their house. Got to break the jar. So on and so forth. So, as you could probably guess, they don't go to Paradise Falls. They got to do neither of their two most obvious prevalent things in the movie. They didn't get to do before she died. So you could stop there and go, wow, cool life, had some stuff you wanted to do, didn't do it, still had a great life. I would say more pros than cons. But that's not where the story's over for me. So this movie really begins with this tired old grumpy ass guy with like a little hearing aid, and he's just grumpy. He's the last house, last lot in this big, they're building a sprawl of skyscrapers, parking lots, skyscrapers, a city. And he's the last like real country, regional thing left. And he's like, I'm not moving. You can't buy my house, you're not gonna get rid of me. He eventually meets this little boy, he's like a Cub Scout. He's got one little last badge to fill right here. He wants to get his little badge for helping the elderly. She's like, yo, can I walk you across the street? He says, nope. Can I walk you across your porch? Nope. He's like, can I, And meanwhile, this old guy gets in trouble with these people to where he's forced to go give up his home, give up his land, and go to like an old folks So you're thinking, okay, the movie's over. Why the heck is this movie called Up? Well, homeboy comes up with a better idea. He attaches like thousands of balloons to his house. And he like fucking lifts off, and he's like, I'm gonna sail this house to Paradise Falls. I'm gonna get this thing to Paradise Falls. So he's relaxing in his chair. Everything's looking good. Picture of his wife. Everything's great. You know? He hears a knock at the door. He's like thousands of feet in the air. What the heck? When he answers the door, homeboy is on the porch. Like, can I come in? So lets little homeboy in. That's what we'll call him, Russell, little homeboy. And so what starts as this super annoying kid, they kind of start to connect a little bit. I can't say too much, but they start to connect. And they end up finding this fucking bird. And they end up finding the old guy that was looking for the bird. And he ends up not being the guy that they thought he was. He ends up being so about this bird and his legacy and finding the bird and achieving things that he forgets who's friend and who's foe, and he only wants the bird. So he instantly becomes foe. Now you gotta remember, this guy's old, he's grumpy, he's literally got the house with the hose that's floating. He's got a hose, like he's wearing like a backpack, and he's pulling this house. It's pretty cute. He's trying to get this house to Paradise Falls, drop it, relax, and probably die. So within all this, lots of trouble comes about. This bird, they realize is a special bird. It's not just some bird you want to like put in a net and take back to America. Like, this is a cool ass bird, right? So they start to have feelings for this bird. They don't want to kill the bird. They make enemies with this guy. And it comes to a point where the guy has a choice. The bad guy, the foe, has taken the young man on his big giant balloon and go off into the distance. And dude's like, and then I remember, he's like, whatever. He goes into the house, he's ticked off, he's grumpy, he's old, he's tired. Not even at Paradise Falls yet. He's like, I'm gonna look in this scrapbook. We always had this scrapbook. And I'm gonna look at, you know, all the blank spaces, you know, where we had fun, you know, where we were supposed to put stuff in there from this adventure. And when he opens it, I guess he hadn't opened it in a long ass time, it shows photos of them and their amazing life that they had and all the fun that they had. And he's like tearing up, and it kind of had cut to a scene that shows like the whole time she was in the hospital kind of dying, she had been putting that scrapbook together for him. And he just never thought to open it because he was just so devastated and thought it was empty. It was not, didn't have their life adventure in it like they wanted. So as he's looking through this, seeing these photos, realizing that his life actually was amazing, even though he didn't get to go to Paradise Falls with her, and even though they didn't have a baby, it was a great adventure. He turns to the last page, and it's basically like, I love you. We had an amazing time together. We had an amazing, once-in-a-lifetime adventure. But now it's time for you to start another adventure. And instantly, he gets it in his mind where he's at in life. At that point when he read it, he could have read that 3 days before and thought that meant go to the old folks home. But he read it right where he was, and he said, I gotta go get Russ. I gotta go get little homeboy. So the only way for him to do that was to make his little house light enough to fly again. And to do that, he had to get rid of all their stuff, all the memories. So he gets rid of all these memories. He goes and gets the boy. Ends up ends up taking over this big blimp that the foe had. Foe dies. Bye, right. Gets the boy back home. At the end of the movie, you see this man take on his new adventure, hanging out with the boy, being like the boy's like grandpa, dad, uncle, whatever, mentor, like just there for him. And he gives him that final badge that he was supposed to get for helping the elderly. But he gave him this little badge that was given to him from his wife when they were kids. He's like, this is the Ellie badge, right? And it's this tear-jerker moment, and I don't want to cry right now, but you gotta watch the movie. And then eventually it shows that house land in Paradise Falls, and everything is kind of as it should be. I know it's a movie. I get that. There are movies where I sit in disbelief and go, it's a movie, it's a fucking movie. And there are some movies where everything impossible is happening and I'm like, it's a movie. It's gotta be real. Like, I draw from both ends. So when I saw this movie, I saw life. I saw happiness. I saw negativity. I saw everything that I was talking to you guys about tonight. It just came to me. I wasn't gonna risk. Why would I talk about a Disney movie? Why would I talk about Pixar? Like, it just came to me. It was like, this movie, like how this guy's life went, like insane. And it got me to thinking about this. So we ignore the things that we do not see or do not notice. We ignore the problems that we do not see or do not notice. We accept the things that we believe to be unchangeable. And sometimes they really actually are. We make the best out of things that seem unchangeable, but that still have that glimmer of hope. Like I said, I always made the best of my living situation. We complain about things that we'd like to change, but ultimately don't know where to begin, what to do, or even how. We plot, we scheme, and sometimes we dream about the things that seem attainable and at the same time still might be a little bit out of reach. And we long for things that the heart just wants. Like, he just wanted to go to Paradise Falls. There's no mathematical Excel sheet reason why he wanted to go. There's no mathematical Excel sheet. There's no success chart. There's no money that says why you want a kid, why you would ever want a kid. You can figure, oh, because he wants him to do this, or like at the end of the day, there's no way to define it. We long for things that the heart just wants. A significant other, a kid, right? We long for things, like we don't know why. Have you ever felt that way about something? When everyone's like, dude, why are you into her? And you're like, I don't know. Like everyone's like, she's this, she's that, right? And you're like, I just am like this, right? But we do things that we know we can do. Everything we do it only because we believe we can do it. Like I literally just shifted over because I've done it a million times in my life. Right? But if like I had to start my life over but from this, not a baby, and you're like, okay, now shift over, I'm like, I'd be like, right? Where's the rail? Get drunk, see what happens, right? So we do things that we know we can do, and sometimes this means doing things that we never even really wanted to do. Baby, if you're watching this, I don't mean to disrespect you. I don't mean to upset you. That's not what my intention is. My intention is usually to be right. My intention is usually to be smart. My intention is usually to be like, you know, the most successful guy you know, right? Those are my intentions. My intention was never hurt, never to upset, never to belittle. But sometimes we do things we don't even know we're doing, but we do them because we know we can. So I believe, this is just me, like I said, happiness is personal. It would make me happy to tell you guys this. The sooner that you're able to answer the question, are you happy? From here all the way to here. You'll start looking at an eagle eye view, right? Like Google Maps or something, or Google Earth. And you'll just start to go down. You'll start to see your neighborhood, or you'll start to see your country, your state, right? The valley, your neighborhood. You'll start to get a good look, and then there's you. And then you're like, oh, there's my old car. That photo's old, right? You'll start to really see how it zooms. Okay, cool. So, sorry guys. It's super, super important that you guys do that. That you don't just answer it without thinking, oh yeah, well, you know, because of how you feel right now. Because how you feel right now is the end. You gotta start up higher. So I wrote here from Eagle Eye View all the way, like I know that sounds trippy. Get deep in there. That blood that runs through your veins. Because that blood that runs through your veins is a result of your mom and dad, your grandparents, their parents, their parents, their parents, all the ideas, all the philosophies. Why did this person move all the way out here? Why did these people get together? Why did they do that? Why did they split up? Why did these people get together? I mean, all the way in your blood is all those choices. It's insane. But then you can start talking about, like, what am I going to ignore? What am I going to accept? What situation am I going to make the best out of? What am I going to complain about? Will I plot? Will I scheme? Will I dream? And if I do, what about? What do I long for? Like when I close my eyes and like none of this matters and none of you guys matter and these beautiful chairs, they don't matter, and this beautiful American flag, it's just not here. What do I long for? Like truly, like I'll write it on a paper, fold it up, put it on my wall. No one is to know. What do I long for, right? What is that? What will I ultimately do? Like action. Like what will I do once I've thought from here all the way to here? And what would I change, if anything? Like what could I change? What would I change? And will I stop at nothing to be happy there to there? Right? Those questions are really for you, but because I cannot push anything on you, I have to ask me in front of you. But yeah, what will you ignore? What will you accept? What situation will you make the best out of? What will you complain about? What will you plot, scheme, and dream about? What do you long for? Like, what do you long for, Nicole? What are you ultimately going to do, Joe? You know, what are you going to do? What would you change? Would you stop at nothing to be happy, Ray? From there to here. Would you stop at nothing? Because I hear so much about me. Well, you're happy because everything's in your favor. You're happy because that worked out to your benefit. I hear that a lot. Well, you're happy because you got what you wanted. And the truth of the matter is, that might be true from hindsight, but all along the way, I had to do the things I'm talking to you about to get things to seemingly in my favor. Seemingly to get the bigger end of the stick. Seemingly to come out on top. And I hope that you'll take the time to find these answers. I really, like I said, I hate to read this like a robot. I hope you'll take time. I hope you'll take time to find these answers, because I'm not here to razz you guys. I'm not here to put you down. I'm not here to put you in your place, or like, here I am, here you are. But I'm telling you, the only thing I can talk about is work, okay? And if we just talked about work, we would say, where have I been for the last 6 years? What has my resume said for the last 6 years? What has yours said, right? And what has yours said, right? And what has yours said? And there's nothing bad about trying this and doing that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, check this out. Get out of my way. Okay, hi. Okay. If you don't take the time to find the answers to these questions like I did, and I'm going to prove that by telling you where I've been for the last 6 years. Right fucking here. Because I found the answers to these questions. When you find the answers, you are not going to move from job to job, from title to title, from hobby to hobby, from place to place, from person to person, from happy to unhappy. Now, that doesn't mean keeping the same job means you have it all together. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying everything on this list, I'm just, I'm saying that what was laid on my heart when I was preparing this was, the first thing I think of when I speak to anybody, and I only speak about things I know about, unless I'm kidding. So I came to speak about work, and the thing I have, the thing I believe, is that my work life has been going like this. And whether it's profession, or skill set, or whatever you want to call it, that's gotten better for me, or pay, whatever, right? That's not what I'm trying to focus on. What I'm trying to focus on is I want you guys doing this. And I'm not saying that you're not. I'm just saying I want to ensure you are. And the way that you ensure that is when you are happy. Not when you are perfect. You know, not when everything's just swell and going amazing. I'm not telling you to put a filter on. I'm telling you to answer those questions. What will you ignore? What will you accept? What situations are you going to make the best out of? What will you complain about? What will you plot, scheme, dream about? What do you long for? What do you want? What will you ultimately do? Like, gun is in your face, do something. What are you going to do? What will you do? What would you change? If you got to change anything you want to change, what would you change? And would you stop at nothing to be happy on each of those levels? Would you stop at nothing to like where you live, to like who you are, to like what you have, to like what you make, to like what you are? Because I know tons of people that just ignore and then accept this, and they try and make the best out of this. Are you willing to go down each of those lines and go, I'm not happy. I'm going to make the best of this because I don't think this can change. I can't change this. But you know what? I can change this, and I will change this, and this will come in 5 years, and this will come tomorrow, and this will come right now. I will change this, right? So I hope you take time to find these answers, or you're always going to keep bouncing around, moving around. I've seen marriages fail. I've seen jobs. I've seen guys that had position on the streets, literally on the streets. Talk to a homeless person. We're in the homeless capital of Visalia, this street. Ask them, hey, have you been a bum your whole life? No, I was a banker. No, I was a wrestler. No, I was all-star in high school baseball. No, I was this. No, I was that. They didn't grow up homeless and fiending. They were somebody. They were happy. I've seen people bounce around. I've seen people quit jobs because they didn't like one thing or two things or 5 things. 5 things is still less than everything. Okay? 12 things is still less than everything. If you hate 12 things about me in this place, that's still less than everything here. Because I'm looking at like 59 things right now. Okay? When you start finding the answers to these questions, you're going to stop bouncing around. Serena, that doesn't mean stay here forever. That's not what I'm getting at. That doesn't mean as long as you're here with me that you're successful. It means continue on your path. I wanted to give a shout out to you. I know I always do. But you're not bouncing, you're flying, you're gliding, you're bouncing. Bouncing means you're getting thrown. You know what I mean? We are most happy when we are in control, I believe. Some people are most happy when they're not in control. I call those alcoholics and drug addicts. But some people like me, and I would say a lot of people to a degree, are most happy when they're in control, and especially of these things. And I think I've figured it out. We're most happy when we're in control of what we truly, and I don't mean like right now you're all in control, but I mean when you've heard this talk and now you're truly in control. You're like, okay, there's a knob in me, I'm gonna turn that shit. Here we go. I'm most in control of what I ignore. Whereas before I wouldn't have ignored it, now I'm gonna ignore it. Before I would have ignored it, now I'm not gonna ignore it. I'm in control of what I ignore. I'm in control of what I accept. Before, no way, you're not doing that to me. No way, you're not saying that to me. But now I'm in control of what I accept and what I don't. Because an hour ago, before this talk, I accepted some things just as soon as it came to me, and some things I would never accept. But now that I want to be happy and in control, I'm in control of what I accept. No, that's not gonna. No, we're not gonna accept that. I accept that. When I'm in control of what situations that I get to make the best out of, I'm happy. You know what I mean? When I'm in control, when I know, like, man, this is a shitty situation, and I know that I have the ability to, and I do take that chance to make the best of it, it's great. It's great. I'll never forget. And maybe my timeline's wrong. And maybe if you were there, you would know better than I do. But I remember getting evicted out of my house on Easter, and by the sheriff or whatever, and putting all of our stuff in this truck and moving to this motel. And we lived in this motel, and all I remember having for Easter, not a basket, not anything fun, but I do remember getting this like Easter bunny guy, and he had like he was rubbery, but he had like wire in him so you could make him, do things. And I remember just like trying to make the best of it. I wasn't big on holidays. I'm still not big on holidays, but I knew, even though I was young, I was in 4th or 5th grade, I knew that this was jacked up. So I knew, I was like, I'm just gonna play with this guy. And I played with him for like 2 hours. And someone that was staying with us, I won't say who, they immediately just went and started doing drugs and all that stuff that happened around me. But I remember just sitting there and thinking, I'm going to just play with this bunny. That next Monday that school came, my mom gave me money for the bus. It was like all dimes. I remember it was like $1.40 or something, $1.20 or something, like 60 cents there, 60 cents back she gave me. And I fucking put all the money in the bus. I didn't realize, and I got like, halfway to my school, because I was going to a faraway school, but we moved to a motel that was way far, whatever. We used to live right by my school. We moved to a motel that was a little further. So I'm like freaking out. I'm at the transfer station thinking, crap, I just put all my money in there. Should I go back home with this transfer ticket, or should I go to school, right? Not the worst thing that ever happened to a kid in their life, but I remember, what do I have in my power? What can I control to make the best of a situation? I made the best of that situation. How can I control what I don't complain about? And I wrote here, I had to do that. Because I never want you to be in control of what you do complain about. Never set out to complain. Never say I have the right to complain. Now, I said earlier in my talk, they were rightfully devastated. Devastating and complaining are two different things. Devastated? Yeah. Was I devastated when one of my newest friends that I wanted to make a manager here, like you, that was no more responsible than any of us, no more responsible than you, I wanted to make him a manager. That Friday, when he held the line down, I remember going upstairs, getting on my phone and saying, I'm going to text Ray right now and say, Hayden should be a manager. I said, note to self, dear Ray, if you think you can make Hayden more responsible, let's try and get him to be a manager. Within 24 hours, he passed. But did we complain about it? No, we were devastated. That was devastating. I didn't know I had that in me. I didn't know I cared that much about it. I mean, I knew I cared, but you don't know you care until you're devastated, right? But never did a complaint come out of my mouth. Never did I complain. I want to be in control, and I want you to be in control of, and I know you'll be happy when you are in control of how, when, where, why you plot, scheme, and dream. I want to start reselling stuff online. This is how I want to do it. I want to start brewing beer. This is how I want to do it. I want to be manager. I want to get a car. This is how I'm going to do it, right? I want to blow my business up. This is how I'm going to do it. I want to be the best dad and stepdad I can be. I'm going to plot, scheme, and I'm going to dream big. That's all gravy. But when you're in control of that, when you sit down and go, okay, I'm in control, you get where you're going. When you just drive around, you don't get anywhere. When you're in control of what you actually do, like I said, shifting my weight onto this leg, onto this hip, when I'm in control, it goes well, and I'm happy. When I'm not in control, like I said, get me drunk, and I'm not in control, I will not be happy when I go to do that and I fall. And when I'm in control of what I can change, when I'm in control of what I can change and how I change it, when I'm in control of that situation of changing something, that feels good. I'm happy. What feels better? To quit or get fired? Now, some people, if they're mad, getting fired doesn't matter to them. But I would say most people would rather quit. But it's the same outcome. You don't work at a spot anymore. But quitting feels good because we're in control. You have no idea how many times when I was a younger manager, I'd go to say, like, you're fired or whatever. And they're like, that's fine, I already quit. I quit. I don't want to be here anyway. Like, they had to make sure I knew that they were in control. And hats off to them. Beanies off, right? Like, I truly believe that that's that one little, like, grab at being happy. We're in control of what we can change, like quitting a job, we're happy. So I'm going to end it right now, because I could probably go over this forever. It's something I feel very adamant about. It's something I feel very passionate about. It's something that has taken over my life recently. I got people in my life that are depressed. I got people in my life that are unhappy. I got people in my life that worry, that are stressed. And don't get me wrong, for brief glimpses of time, I get worried about things. I get stressed about things, right? I get unhappy about stuff, like for brief glimpses of time. But people I love right now feel that all the time about everything. About germs, about their kids, about their job, about the economy, about who's president, about their loved ones. They're just at all times high alert, right? And it just goes back to negativity. It's a murderer. negativity will go into your life, and it starts just real simply. It just holds the door shut on you, and you go to open it, and it feels locked or jammed, and you're like, I guess I won't go. And it starts real casual, and next thing you know, you're asking for money. You're asking for just a sandwich real quick. You're asking for someone back. Can I have you back? You're asking for another shot. You're asking. You're in the asking spot now. And I just know in my heart that if you can cut the negativity out and you can begin to ask yourself, how am I going to be happy from here to here? Your life is going to go like this. Your job is going to go like this. Your finances are going to go like this. Your friends are going to go like this. If you're single, your relationships are going to go up like this. Right? If you're not, you're stuck, bro. This is live though. Hopefully she's watching, so you're together. But I just want you guys to know that it's not too late. It's not too late for you. A couple things me and Ray said tonight, just to end. It's never too late to go to school. It's never too late to start a business. And it's never too late to be happy. And I know that's cheesy. And I know that's the most basic message ever. But I was just sitting here tonight of all the things we could talk about. Hey, make sure you pump all the wines at night when we're done. Hey, make sure these lights get turned off all the way. Dude, the thermostats need to get shut off every night. You guys are leaving them on. What's that gonna fix? I'm gonna save $8 a month on that thermostat, $6 a bottle on that wine, or I can say, are you happy? And even if it was $8, that's times 20 people. Times every day. Times forever. You know? Don't let negativity in this place. It's kind of like music. We all like our genre of music, but here, what do we listen to at night? What do we listen to? Country. So if you really, really, really want negativity, you really do, that's just you. You can have fun trying to listen to it out there. But when you come in here, you gotta listen to country. You gotta listen to positivity. But trust me, it's gonna be a hard line to walk. It's gonna be a hard line to walk. If that's what you're trying to do out there and then come in here and be someone else, it won't last. It will not last. And like I said, I know it sounds a little negative to get rid of negativity with seemingly negativity, but I'm coming from straight love. I love every one of you. I love if you're not here and you're watching this, I love you so much. Last time I saw there were 7 people watching. How many people we got, Ray? 4, 3, 2, 5? I'll take it. If they all have 2 eyes, that's 10 people, dude. Or 10 eyes, I mean. They all have 2 eyes, that's 10 eyes on me. I'm really pumped. I'm really pumped that you guys are listening, that these guys are listening. Like, it's what I want to do with my life. And like I said, I want to be in control of my life. So that meant dragging you guys down here and talking to you guys about this. I know there are other ways you'd rather spend your night. So I understand if you're unhappy right now, because you're not in control right now. You're having to sit and listen to me. But just try and sift through all that and get to those questions that I asked. What are you going to choose to ignore? What are you going to choose to accept? Are you going to stop complaining? Right? What can you make the best of? What in your life can you go, you know, I could just make the best of that. I can't change it. I'm not going to accept it. You know, I'm not just going to accept it. I'm not going to ignore it, that's for sure. I'm going to make the best of it. Right? What am I going to do today? What can I change? What do I long for? Right? What do I long for? I think if you kind of answered that one first, I might put all that other stuff just in the line. So go home tonight, on your drive home. If you guys live with a significant other, ask them, am I negative? Because like I said, the market gets to decide if you're negative. And then ask yourself, am I happy? Right?
I'm happy.
Are you happy?
Yes.
Are you guys happy? Really?
Yes, we love you, kid.
Thank you.
Really?
Okay.
I'm lit.
I feel good. Are you happy? Are you happy it's over? You guys feel good? Cool. Let's clap it up for these guys.